cars, stars, and everything in between. He's the star, Richard Bazzi from Schultz Ford, schultzford.com. I am Bubba from 100.7 Star, and this is a star, this is a car, this is everything in between. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the one, the only Mario Andretti. Welcome to Car Stars and everything in between.
Thank you, Baba, and
Wow.
thank you, Richard.
So before I keep calling you Mario, is it Mario or Mario?
Either one. Mario is probably closer to the Italian pronunciation.
Okay, because in Pittsburgh we have the Pittsburgh Penguins owner, and he likes Mario Lemieux. But he's not Italian.
I'll answer to either one.
That's awesome.
So Mario and Baba, you said something that I was thinking, and it's so perfectly stated. The title of our show, Mario checks every one of those boxes.
Every single box.
The cars, the stars, and everything in between. The person, the humanity, the person he is. The other interesting thing, and I think everybody knows, and I'll go back and talk about that. But I think the interesting thing is, Mario, you had a car dealership in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at one time. You had Andretti Toyota, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so, did you like the car business? Are you still in the car business anywhere?
No, I'm not. No, we were, for a period of time, we had up to 7 dealerships at one point, I think, and but it was one of those things that either move up to 20 dealerships or get out of it.
Yeah. Yes.
It seemed like the way to go, and so we decided to pursue a different direction, and so we got out of it. I think at the right time. I think it went into good hands, and that was it.
Yeah, it's thriving. It's thriving as it was when you were the owner. But I found that very interesting. But Mario, honestly, I really grew up admiring you so much, and I have so many questions, and not in any particular order, but to ask you what began this journey for you, and if people want to know, how do I get into auto racing? What do I do? And there's just so many things that you can bring to this conversation. But where did it start?
Well, it started pretty much at the beginning of the time when I started to reason, if you will. My brother Aldo, with twin brother Aldo, and I, somehow we gravitated to the sport. We were still living in Italy, and as just young teenagers, Italy was really very much part of the beginning of Formula One in 1950. First world champion was Nino Farina, and then there was Ascari, and with Ferrari, Maserati, I said this many times, and Alfa Romeo involved. As you could see, it was very prominent. And as kids, I don't know, we gravitated to it for some reason. And I guess obviously the excitement of it. And in 1954, some friends took Aldo and I to the Italian Grand Prix in Monza at age 14. And oh my goodness, and there I saw my idol, Alberto Ascari, Fangio, Moss, all those the stars of the moment. And from that moment on, I always say that I had no plan B in life. I figured I have to become a race driver. It was an impossible dream, but I didn't know how or why. I mean, we were after the war, we were displaced from our region, and we were actually in a refugee camp at the time. And but a year later, we came to America, and 3 days after arriving in America, I discovered there was a racetrack here in Nazareth, and then it was in June, so the racing was in full swing, and my brother and I just ran down there and watched those cars run around. And 2 years later, we started building our own car. 2 years after that, we started driving at age 19. and with no background, but we had to fib a little bit, say that we used to race in Italy, which is not true. But Aldo and I started driving one car, one helmet, two drivers. We used to alternate. We would alternate. He would drive one weekend, I would drive another. And that's how it all started for us in 1959.
What landed you in Nazareth?
We had an uncle on my mother's side, and in order to obtain visas, you had to have someone that would guarantee that you would have a place to go, and my dad would have a job. And that's how we wound up here in Nazareth, and it's been my home ever since 1955.
And you have children.
Oh yes, I had a young family. The first one was Michael, and then Jeff, first two boys, and then later on, 6 years later, we had a daughter, Barbie, and so 3 children. Happy times.
Now I know of Michael and I know of Jeff, and you're very fortunate that they followed in your racing career, right?
Indeed, yes, yeah, of course, yeah, they did, and of course, Michael and I had some good success together. Even drive for the same team. But Michael and I were on podium in an IndyCar race 15 times.
Oh, you just must have been so fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's those are moments that that resonate for the rest of your life. You look back, and as a family, though, we had many other moments. Like I said, in 1991, 92, there were 4 of us, 4 from the same family that qualified for the Indy 500 in 2 years, 91, 92. And that never happened before or since. And it was my son Michael, of course, and Jeff, and then my nephew John. And there were other times. I'll tell you another one. In 1986 at the Pocono 500, there was a supporting event, the Indy Lights, they used to call them, they call them now Indy Lights, but it was ARS. And my younger son, Jeff, was driving in that series, and he was on pole on that, and then he won the race on Saturday. Michael was on pole for the 500, and I won the 500. Between the 3 of us, we cleaned house.
Oh my God.
Weekend. You know what I mean? It's you look back in those moments, and you figure, how blessed we've been as a family to be able to enjoy those moments. So yeah, the sport has been extremely good to us for sure.
Mario, what is more nerve-wracking, driving yourself or watching your children drive?
Oh, watching, absolutely. That's when I started realizing what my wife was going through. When I was on the track with my son, my my nephew, and both my sons even, I felt that I felt confident, like I had some control of things, which I didn't. But just psychologically, I felt okay. We're all on the same rodeo here, and but watching from the side, I'm the typical nervous Nelly today.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, when I watched my grandson Marco.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is Mario Andretti, a name that is just synonymous with motorsports. Unbelievable. When we come back, more with Mario Andretti. This is Cars, Stars, and everything in between on 100.1 FM, AM 1020, KDKA. We'll be right back.
Just unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable.
By the way, this is the fastest 9 minutes we've ever had in our interview. Ever.
That is an absolute fact. Yeah, it really is.
Rambling on.
No.
That's what I usually do.
No. The opposite of that. The opposite of rambling on. I'm just mesmerizing.
That's what I'm always accused of.
No. You're mesmerizing.
Very kind.
Stand by. Let me just save this real quick. Wow.
They're welcome to have you anytime.
You ready, Bubba?
Give me 1 second, just saving. Soon I can't start one without saving the other. Wow. Okay. Almost there. and building its peaks. Stand by. And okay, here we go. 100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA. This is Car Stars and everything in between. He's the star, Richard Bazzi, Schultz Ford, SchultzFord.com. I'm Bubba from 100.7 Star, and the man that fits all three, Car Stars and everything in between. We're back with Mario Andretti. Richard?
You know, Bubba, you say it, Mario, you embody it. I look at you and I actually, it's not weird. Don't think I'm weird, but I get goosebumps. Because I relate so far back to hearing your name. But when I look at you and when I hear you speak, there's one word that jumps out at me and it has nothing to do with racing.
Really?
Yes. The word is family. And that just, it resonates to me when I look and hear Mario Andretti. That's the word, and not before today, but right now, in this moment, that's what I see, feel, and hear.
Amen.
And I think, Mario, you can be such a great influence over so many people, and seeing you out there and hearing your story. I mean, it's chilling to me, really. I mean, your sons, you even have grandchildren, I think, that race now. Is that right?
Yes, I have one grandson, that Marco, and actually nephews. I have Adam. He just won a Trans Am race in Road Atlanta this past weekend. That was a day of his birthday, by the way. Which as a family, when we text each other on text, we have one poster says a crazy Andretti. So on both Aldo's side and my side, we just always come up. I mean, there's a birthday every day going on or something.
Wow.
And we have kids. I have grandnephews that on Mary Jo's side. That's Aldo's daughter. That there are three kids that are just phenomenal. I mean, they're in sports. They want to win. They show me the rings.
Wow.
When they win a football race or they win and or the series itself. And I just love that. Just that they have that grit. To go out and excel. And it's a good thing.
But we see where it came from. Mario, was there ever a point? I mean, I've always wanted to be a race car driver. It's like, I think every kid's dream. I, at one point, went to the Bob Bondurant school and I did all that. But at some point, I reached a speed that scared me. Did you ever reach a speed while you were racing that scared you?
No, no, absolutely not. Because, speed is irrelevant in that sense. It's all about getting used to things, because the more you do it, the more things slow down. So it's about sometimes speed when it's, when you have the first experience, oh, wow. And then, when you do it for a living and you do it all, and, every week, and all the testing that you do that I've done from the beginning, you want to go faster. That's when you really get your adrenaline going, and speed in itself. That's really what works for you. What you're looking for. If you're afraid of speed, that's a negative. You can't dwell on negatives. The same thing as if you're afraid you're going to crash or whatever, then you don't belong there. You just have to have the confidence. But, going back, if you would have kept on going, done more and more racing, you would have seen that the speed itself is something that you're looking for. You want more.
Right.
Wow. Mario, you're the first driver to win the Indy 500, the Daytona 500, and the Formula One World Championship, along with Juan Pablo Montoya. Of all the different styles of racing, is there one that you love the most?
Well, obviously, basically, I always, my specialty was open wheel, single seaters, Formula One, Indy cars. Doing, stock cars and so forth was a curiosity thing. I wanted to do it because, it's a beautiful series, and it's got great champions going, and I wanted to experience that, and then I love sports prototypes. The thing about IndyCar racing too. In the 60s and 70s, they used to have dirt track racing as part of the national championship. To be able to drive and to try to master the different categories, to me was the ultimate challenge, and that's what really drove me there. And by the way, it's I'm the only one that won Indy 500, that don't and the World Championship. Montoya did not win the World Championship.
That's the competitive edge that you never lose that I love.
I love that.
I love that.
Mario, if you were going to start your career all over again, is there any particular series you'd want to focus on? What would you do?
Well, I had such a phenomenal time in Indy cars. That series gave me everything that I could have possibly wanted to. However, my first taste or my first love was Formula One. Why? Because that's what I was introduced to the sport. And so that's where my challenges were to sometime. I didn't have to go to Formula One to feel that I've completed my career, quite honestly. With 4 championships, dirt track championship, and in Indy cars, I think could be satisfied. But going back to your question, I don't know what I might have pursued. I mean, it depends on what the opportunities are at the time. But going back, I mean, I pinch myself as the fact that I had this opportunity to go into Formula One and be with top teams. I won with Ferrari, I won with Lotus, and that's the ultimate satisfaction, because it satisfies the initial dream. When I first was introduced to the sport. So, like I said, I don't know what my pursuit would have been, but the fact that I was able to pursue all of it, that's where I feel blessed.
Mario Andretti, how old were you when you ran your last race?
My last race, I was 60. That was in Le Mans in 2000. That was my last professional race.
Wow.
And did you have a favorite car?
Race car?
Yes.
Yes, everyone that I want to race with.
Mario, you're everything that I love about good competition. Everything.
He's fabulous. He's fabulous. How about a particular owner?
Well, I spent the longest stretch in my career with Carl Haas and Paul Newman in Indy cars. It was 12 seasons. Won a championship. We won 18 IndyCar races after I came out of Formula One. I can say that I probably had the best time my career there. But the other one would be Colin Chapman, in Formula One. And then I feel that I was, just one of my great moments, in the sport is to be able to deal directly with Enzo Ferrari, Mr. Ferrari, when I drove for Ferrari. And in fact, I won my very first Formula One race with Ferrari, and I won my last Formula One appearance in 1982. I was on pole in Monza, substituting for Didier Pironi, who was, Ferrari had a terrible year in 82. That both drivers, were killed during the season, and I was substituting. And in my last race there in Monza, I put the car on pole, and I finished third. I could have won. I had some problem with the turbo in the last few laps, but I still was on podium. So great satisfaction. This is looking back with the personalities of the sport, the icons, and to have had the opportunity to drive for these people. I drove for Roger Penske. I won races with Roger Penske, and winning Indianapolis for Andy Granatelli, where he tried so hard, by thinking outside the box, with the Novice and the turbine cars. And then here I go, and I went for him in 69 after having all kinds of problems getting into that. And so, there's a lot of moments here that I look back, and any one of those moments could be my greatest.
Mario Andretti, speaking of icons, you are an icon.
I'm not done. You can't stop yet.
Yeah.
Mario,
You're too
Bubba,
kind.
I can't be done. I'm not done. What kind of car do you drive at home?
I don't know. I'm a car guy, so I got a little bit of everything. I've had Ferraris and Maserati. I have Alfas, and I have Cadillacs. I have Lincolns, and I try a little bit of everything. Audis, Mercedes, you name it. Right now, my sedan is a Maserati Quattroporte. I drive a sports car. I have a C06 Corvette, which I love beautifully. I have a Lamborghini Aventador, and
I love the sound of a
my garage,
Ferrari.
take you for a ride around the block.
Please, I'm in.
I'd love that. I would love that. I'm sorry. I know I went over. That's just a phenomenal opportunity to speak to you.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mario Andretti.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.